Ferrari is exiting the Imola GP satisfied with the upgrade package that they've introduced to the SF24, but it seems like they are upgrading the car even further at the upcoming GP in Monaco. On a circuit that is all about track position and qualifying, Ferrari will be looking to optimise the downforce generation of the car, something that they've been lacking compared to McLaren and Red Bull. And with this in mind, the home hero Leclerc will definitely be delighted to push out the SF24 to the highest place on the podium. But with the grid being so close and competitive, does Ferrari have what it takes to win the second race this year? And more importantly, what are the upgrades that they are introducing here in Monaco? Ferrari's pace in Imola was something that gave them a lot of hope for the upcoming race in Monaco, even though both of these circuits are vastly different compared to each other. But what goes without saying is that the team, although not quite seen with the results on the track, is extremely happy with what they are leaving one of their two home races. For example, the data has shown that Ferrari was able to get exactly what they were projecting, 2 tenths per second compared to Red Bull. And now the race winner as well as pole sitter will be decided by thousands, not hundredths of a second. Therefore, the specifics of the circuit will be extremely important, and in Monaco it's all about the slow speed corners. What this means is that the car needs to have the best possible downforce while keeping itself within the white lines, and judging by the 2022 performance of Ferrari on these types of circuits, we could be hoping for a very competitive weekend for the Tifosi. Regardless, that time is now gone, and with the SF24, Ferrari has taken an approach in which they are yet to extract more performance in this section due to the overly conservative approach they had with the car. So for Monaco, the team has prepared an upgrade package that will revolve around the rear wing as well as the DRS device. Apart from the high-loaded wing, Ferrari introduced some changes in Imola that revolved around the rear suspension and engine cooling, such as the large outlets of the car. These aim to help the car make the process of redirecting the low-energy air towards the rear wing and diffuser as low as possible, which is why precision here is crucial. Obviously, high downforce circuits require loaded rear wing specifications, which Ferrari will be more than happy to introduce to both its cars, along with the drag reduction system device, which is supposed to help the car obtain more stability as well as downforce throughout the narrow streets of Monaco. This won't be the last that we'll be hearing from Ferrari. The team has also scheduled another massive upgrade package for Silverstone, which should eliminate the team's existing problems that have been more or less addressed, or at least revealed, with the first package in Imola. When talking about his chances to win in Monaco, Leclerc did not lose the optimism, contrary to his teammate Carlos Sainz, as the Monegasque driver went on to say, "Yes, I believe I'm going to win in Monaco. I came to Imola to win. We have this mentality every time we approach a weekend. On a track like Monaco, everything is possible, and we'll go there with the win in mind. I'm only happy when I win, and today we didn't quite make it, but it's looking good for the rest of the season. I really believe Imola was all about track position. I think our pace is very, very strong. I'm more optimistic than yesterday looking back at the qualifying, because this is where I think we are lacking a weekend like this. And what makes me optimistic is that if I look back at the data, I thought we were losing in turns 2, 3 and 4, which would have been tyre related again, but that wasn't the case." But if you were to ask Carlos Sainz, he does not believe that the fans should be expecting a lot of improvement from their upgrade package in Monaco, due to the fact that the package they introduced in Imola is aimed at tracks that have a high-speed nature, unlike the upcoming weekend in Monaco, where everything will be about precision and driver's skill in order to keep yourself as close as possible to the front of the pack. It could very well mean that Sainz has started to feel less comfortable with the car, a process that many dubbed inevitable to happen due to the fact that he's departing Ferrari at the end of the year, so he won't be as active as he was in the development of the car. Or it could simply mean that Leclerc is able to adapt to the upgrades in a better and smoother manner. A massively important point for Ferrari is that the general deficit to McLaren and Red Bull in Imola was identified to be on the main straight, where Leclerc believed that these two teams were doing something special with their engines in order to extract the amount of speed they did from the cars. What this goes to show is that the low-speed corners, although yet to be identified in terms of performance gained or lost compared to other speeds, are less likely to be the issue for Ferrari, hinting towards a competitive weekend ahead for them. as in Monaco, the least important thing is the top speed, as this is by far the slowest track on the calendar that F1 is visiting. There is this general belief among the F1 fans and experts that those who believed Ferrari would neutralise the entire lead that Red Bull had in just one upgrade package in Imola were hoping for a miracle, as this is quite impossible to achieve in just one weekend. Ferrari themselves admitted that in order to extract the maximum potential out of their Evo version of the car, they would need at least 3 races, if not more. When talking about this situation, Vasseur went on to say, "We need to push for hundredths. We need at least 3 races to see how the car goes on more types of corners before bringing other updates." This is why the Monaco upgrades, although extremely important for the circuit itself, are not that crucial for the performance of the car in other circuits, because they are more or less track specific, as Monaco itself is quite unique with narrow streets and slow sections that are not really meant for traditional package testing on the car. However, it's worth mentioning that Ferrari ran all of the 7 races with a rear wing that was universal and did all of the job required for all types of circuits the F1 caravan visited, which goes to show that the aerodynamicists are quite confident in the stable platform that they have in their hands. This fact points out the scenario that Ferrari is not forced to change the design of the platform or the specifications of the wings based on the layouts of the circuits. However, Monaco is an exception because of the earlier mentioned nature and surface of the track, which would probably push the teams in a direction to lift the cars a bit to avoid the bumps on the street road. What this would unavoidably do is make the downforce generation lower, because the basic rule stands as it is. The lower the car is to the ground, the higher the amount of downforce it generates. But on tracks where bumps and curbs are the main issue for the car, the porpoising phenomenon is also going to be present, which then again could be compensated from the other parts of the car, such as the rear wing, which Ferrari is going to push for. But there is something that Ferrari would be much smarter to focus on in Monaco than the upgrades and specifications of the car, and that is the one-lap performance of the SF24, as well as the strategy, which has affected the team's race massively since 2022. On a track that is overall 10 meters wide, with cars that take over 20% of this length, overtaking is more or less impossible, even though 2023's version of the race saw an overall total of 22 overtakes, the most since the 2011 event. This is why a lot of the work will be done in the pit wall by the strategists and the technicians that will play a pivotal role in when the car will enter the pits and whether or not it will be stuck in traffic, something that would also have to be done with surgery-like precision. As we saw in 2022, when Sainz was released from the pit lane, he got stuck behind Albon, who was not able to let him pass in a safe manner, and that might have been avoided with either a quicker pit stop or just a bit earlier or later pit stop in general. Be that as it may, Ferrari understands the weaknesses they have to work on for Monaco, and we are very likely to see a competitive race for the Maranello team, one in which the home hero could be standing the highest on the podium. With this in mind, do you think Ferrari has a chance to be fighting for race wins? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now.